Well, we covered split-screen games you can play with that special someone on Valentine's Day. But for those of you in long-distance relationships, don't worry, we've got your back too. So here's our picks for the top online co-op games you can play on Valentine's Day.
So the problem is, so are we thinking of doing online co-op games? Because,
Yep.
I mean, a lot of our answers are going to be the same.
Maybe not.
Because a game just popped in my head that I have to talk about that everybody forgot but me.
Well, we'll see, because now we're on to part 2. Online co-op games for those people in long-distance relationships.
I could go on with this.
All right, Kieran, number 5 for you.
Okay, what's my list for it? There it is. Even though I really love this game, and I talked about this in your previous thing we did, I am going to go with Baldur's Gate 3 for this one.
That low?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of other games, and I like, and I don't know, for online co-op, at least what I look for is, I don't know, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with Baldur's Gate 3. I think the only thing that I'm taking away from it is that just it's a big time sink. Whereas the other ones on my personal list are a little more free-flowing. But it's still a great game, and I love it a lot, and there's a lot of crazy stuff that you can get up to, and some stuff you can do with your friends.
Yeah, I guess that one's not really just, pick up a controller whenever and...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with it. Like, I'll just make my pick, Divinity Original Sin 2, which is kind of the same game. And
yeah, it's also Valerian.
Yeah, incredible soundtrack. I've been listening to it for years now. Yeah, like it's fun to play with people, but just like when I was talking about Borderlands, it's like annoying when people have to like constantly like check their inventories and save the game before every encounter and like try to like figure stuff out. Like it almost like I see the value of playing it with other people, but it kind of plays better from my perspective when you're by yourself. And same with Baldur's Gate 3. They're incredible games, but my personality or whatever, like I just prefer having control over everybody in my party. And if you give somebody control over one character, like it feels like they don't have a lot to do a lot of the time.
All right, Beezy, number 5 pick.
Man, this one's gonna be tough. I think I'd probably go with Monster Hunter World for this.
Nice one.
That's a good one.
Because this is one that definitely playing with my friends, a couple of them in here, just made everything so much more fun. It was great that all the quests we could all do together and progress and get all the gear that we wanted. And I just love Capcom, so I'm glad Monster Hunter finally blew up and I got the opportunity to play it, because I did try to play it on a Wii U, and it was just I was like, this is way too much.
You gotta try it on a PC, buddy, or a PS5.
Well, the new one's going to be coming out like in 2025, so I'll definitely play that.
Monster Hunter was actually my very first online video game for PS2. When you had to buy a special adapter, and I had to run like 100-foot Ethernet cable because nobody had Wi-Fi back then.
Yeah, that's insane, because like that's the original.
I had to call my ISP and tell them that I was like doing online video games, so they had to like do something to set it up for me. And yeah, I rented it from Blockbuster, and I regret ever bringing it back because I kept going back to that Blockbuster. It was always taken out. I wish I just stole it, honestly, because it was like one of my favorite like online video game experiences still. Like it was just like, it seemed much more of a community than modern Monster Hunter. Like you'd go to a shared hub and people were actually like dancing on the tables and like having beers and stuff and like meeting each other and just becoming friends and going out for hunts. And so the original Monster Hunter was so good, and I hope that they can. It seems like so many games have kind of lost that community aspect to it. I don't know if we're all just more callous and cynical now, but I hope we can get back to that, and I'm excited for what the next Monster Hunter brings to the table.
And for me, I'll go with Dead Space 3 for co-op on this one.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
A lot of fun in co-op. Mostly,
Everybody hates this game.
well, the story wasn't really the best, and it was kind of
Don't care. You can
wasn't
wear cool
scary
suits and
in the
shoot stuff
slightest.
with your friends.
Yeah. But yeah, as a co-op game, it's actually a lot of fun.
hmm Yeah, it kind of inspired me to try the other Dead Spaces, and I hate horror games on my own. I think I tried Dead Space 2, and I got to the part where the little babies are attacking you, and I was like, no, I'm out of this. If I had Silent Devon here, I could muscle through it, but I just can't handle this.
All right, Wonton.
Destiny 2.
Yeah,
Get
outta
this
here.
I
guy.
hate
Go away.
I hate
This
it.
guy.
It had to happen. It had to happen.
Yeah,
No, it didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're right. Like
Well, I mean,
hate,
game in this series that I'll definitely be saying.
yeah, like I hate that game, but I just hate it because I love it, and it's like a former heroin addict saying that he hates drugs. You know, like I gotta stay away from Destiny because it'll destroy my life.
Yeah,
Good
pretty
game.
much.
Made lasting relationships, including
Yeah.
my very special friendship with Wonton.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, good game.
On
Even when I
to
went too far left.
best moment of Destiny 1 there.
My favorite moment is when what's his name? Like you guys were part of like a 3 kill and 1 snipe shot YouTube video.
Oh.
Oh, take drugs.
Yeah.
They did it.
Oh god.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
triple collided us, and yet we still won that game.
Yeah, but that's not what YouTube saw.
I know. Fucking annoying.
Yeah.
You guys still have that like the clips highlighted somewhere on one of my my old computer somewhere.
Oh man. Well, if you find it, you should snip it into this video.
Yep.
Fuck off.
I'll be sure to include it in the comments or in the description.
Damn it.
Or just
I didn't add
that
to this.
first time I got to the lighthouse was when like one of our teammates got really mad at me and just quit. And then as soon as he left, we made it to the lighthouse.
Ugh.
Good times. I miss like I miss everybody. I miss Rubicon and everything, but everybody
know what
only played
happened
that
to
one
him.
game. So when I stopped playing that game, I stopped seeing everyone.
Well, I guess I'll save my conversation for my next pick.
All right, Kieran, number 4 for you.
It's a weird one. It's a horror game called Lunch Lady,
Ooh.
where you are in a school with up to 4 people, and you are trying to find. It's like notes for like cheating on a test. I think you need to find like 10, but like there's this like lunch lady that's patrolling the halls, and
Oh, it's like that Slender Man game where you're trying to
Yeah.
find the pages.
it's kind of Slenderman-esque in a way. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's not really scary. It's kind of goofy, but it's a fun time, and yeah, you just have to
I like
try
your
and
deep
avoid her.
holes.
Yeah, it's a good game. I've sunk a good amount of time into it. It's a nice one to just to kind of screw around and dodge as she throws frying pans and knives at you.
Nice.
All right, Devin,
Okay.
number 4.
My number 4, I got so addicted to this game that it cost me a few final exams. And we're talking about Capcom. Capcom's a brilliant company that they're not afraid to make their games still feel like video games. You know, like they don't care if the UI is still like crisp, easy to read menus with sound effects when you like scroll and stuff like that. And I'm talking about Lost Planet 2 specifically.
You
because
motherfucker.
game is
Yeah.
incredible. Like it's like
Oh, that's great.
it's like Monster Hunter, obviously same company. I'm sure some of the same people work on the same games. There was this one fight where you are fighting like a scaled up version of a real animal called a giant salamander that's found in like China, and it'll go to eat people, and if you get eaten by the salamander, you don't die. You're just inside the salamander, like fighting its organs and stuff, while people are still outside shooting it. And it is so cool. There's mechs. There's just like the weightiness of the movements, like kind of like Monster Hunter, where like when you do your rolls, like you feel like a weird weight, and you pick up like like you can attach guns to mechs, but you can also just carry these giant guns around. And there was like there was cool skins before. There was a lot of cool skins in a lot of games, and yeah, it'll be one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's one of the biggest missed opportunities of all time. That Lost Planet 3 is what it was. They like shipped it over to some American company that didn't really know what they were doing and made it trash.
No, Capcom just didn't let the American company do what they wanted to do.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if they made it into like a Call of Duty, like who knows, it would have been different, but it would have been good. But I wanted another Lost Planet 2, and I don't think we'll ever get it except in a Monster Hunter game.
All right, Beezy.
Well, I'm gonna go with Destiny 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, I've played over 1,000 hours on Xbox One, and then over 1,000 hours on PS4. Pretty much met most of my good chunk of PlayStation friends through being a clan on there, and then even like my great friend Wonton here solely through playing Destiny and getting yelled at. But lots of great moments and memories, and like that's why Destiny 2 is just so disappointing, is because like Destiny as a franchise is just something that I've sunk so much time into, and I think Destiny 1 ended on such a good note, and that's why Destiny 2 is so much more frustrating, is that it just hasn't hit the highs that like Destiny 1 has. And I want it to. It's
Is
done
it
some
an
good
age
things.
thing? Like, are we just not the same people? Have you
No.
considered
Oh, no,
this?
it's
Because
just
I
not as
struggle
good.
with this.
No, trust me, it's
No,
just not as good.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because it's just like gaming as we know it has fundamentally changed since Destiny has come out.
Yeah.
Destiny,
More monetized.
the reason why Destiny has like stood so long the test of time is because like no other game plays like Destiny, and Destiny was kind of the first one to like throw that concept out there of being like a part MMO, part shooter, and always online, like like a live service style game. And like games have like tried to be live service and shooters, but there's no other first person shooter that's like out there like Destiny. Nothing else even comes close to mimicking like what a Destiny raid is. Like the coordination, the skill, like the absolute soul crushing defeats, but then like the triumphs of like getting through it. And then on top of that, it's just like Bungie just knows how to make good feeling shooting games. So like that's why Destiny like is what it is. But as other games pivot towards like these games of service, want to keep you in and grab you for all their time and whatnot, like it's
Suicide Squad.
now it's that Destiny was the first one to do it. So like and now it's tough to kind of have every game do that and be that, and then to like look at it objectively without having that sense of dread. Oh, I have to play this for 100 hours or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
gaming has
mean,
just
that's the thing.
changed. I mean, it's like gaming just isn't. Gaming isn't even about gaming anymore. Like it's literally about how much money can we really suck out of your wallet, And it's funny because like to bring it back to Destiny is like when Destiny first introduced silver and like microtransaction bans, it was like a huge deal. And it was funny because you look back at Destiny 1 and like it's literally nothing. But now you look at like Destiny 2 and it's fucking egregious, and it's literally the lifeblood of that game. And that's what's like ruined Destiny, is that like a lot of this stuff is like you want like the best looking armor and all the resources that they're going into studio or going into these paid cosmetics, which technically don't affect gameplay, but like the point of Destiny is to have the best loot and the best gear and to like look the coolest. And even though people don't want to admit it, it's like Destiny is essentially a dick measuring competition. When you're flying in the tower, you want people to see what you got. You want people to.
I call it like virtual Barbie dolls. Like we're all like dressing up these Barbie dolls.
They technically have a commendation now for best dressed, so of course it's absolutely a big measuring contest.
Yeah, I mean it's a problem too because like it all started with horse armor in Oblivion.
Yep.
But The problem is like games are like developers are creating cool stuff and then locking it away out of the main game as DLC, and it was totally predictable, and I don't see it ever stopping. But it's great when a game like Baldur's Gate comes out this year and disrupts the industry and makes a lot of people angry. Like there were developers like slamming them on Twitter, like you're giving gamers false expectations for like how the industry should be run because they're all publicly traded companies that are obligated to provide the best value for shareholders and do all this toxic stuff, and
Well, it's
independent developers can get away with just making games the way they used to.
they made a video game as video game, right? And the thing about Boulder Gate was like in early access, so people knew what it was going to be. They just didn't know it was going to be as big as it is.
Yeah,
And the
I
problem
never
with
would have
every
guessed.
other game nowadays is that every other game is trying to nickel and dime the shit out of you. The thing I appreciate the most about Destiny 1, and like Devin and Wonton probably remember, but like less than 2 years ago, I just deleted the character. I went back and I ran through Destiny 1 all by myself. Except for I was running a level 12 strike, fucking the one in the Cosmodrome, the Septic's Prime.
Yeah,
And I had to get Mike to like find his Destiny disc, log in, and help me because it was like pretty much a grandmaster by myself at level 12.
that's not a
But
strike that had like a cheesy spot you could hide in.
dude, it's so hard when you have no
Like
good gear.
The
But
Archon, you could hide under that ramp and kill him.
yeah, but the thing is that when I played through Destiny 1, it was a complete package. I had all the DLC story to run through, I had all the side quests, I had literally everything there. And then it's like, if somebody wants to play Destiny 2, and why I wouldn't put Destiny 2 on this list personally is because if somebody wants to get into Destiny 2, they don't get the whole same experience I got from the start of Destiny 2 because half of that game doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah,
And that's what's
totally. That made
frustrating.
me so mad. I got back into Destiny 2 like I don't know, like a year ago or something. And I was kind of pissed off because like DLC that I had paid money for had been removed from the game. And like the free to play elements had been ripped out of the game. Like I was telling my girlfriend like, "Hey, let's just play Destiny. It'll be fun. Like I'll show you what it's about." And there was no way for her to get into it without spending a bunch of money. And if you are an aging game like Destiny 2 and you want new players to get brought into the game in a way like that, being free to play costed you nothing. And now like I don't know, it's just trash. Like it made me mad.
What is really funny is that Destiny has always been compared to World of Warcraft, and every other game has always been compared to Destiny. But Destiny has literally made the same problems that World of Warcraft did. And what they did with World of Warcraft was they made one complete bundle and they just started putting the old shit back out.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe that's the great circle of life, as to how to really have Destiny 2 come back
Just
in the
make a
final
game
shape.
again. Yeah.
Number 4 pick
Destiny
for me
tangent.
is going to Helldivers, the first one.
Ah, you monster.
A lot of fun to play that one in co-op, and pretty easy to pick up and play too. Some of the higher difficulty ones might be a bit rough, but yeah, oh well. Had a lot of fun playing that one, especially with...
Yeah, just calling in
Maybe-
reinforcements and killing your teammates with drop pods. It's pretty good.
Wonton, did you play that one?
No. No, I did not, sadly.
Well then, on to Wonton.
Risk of Rain 2.
You say Risk of Rain 2?
Yep, Risk of Rain 2.
Alright. Is that your number 4?
That's a good one. I got into it recently.
number 4.
It's really, really good.
What is that game?
It's like a
It's a roguelite. It's
roguelike. It's like it's a shooter roguelike. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep picking up, like it's kind of like the graphics are kind of bad so that you can have a shit ton of enemies on screen, and you pick up upgrades, and it's a weird game because it kind of gets easier the longer you're playing it because you get more and more OP, and there's different characters with different mechanics, and so it has that kind of addictive quality of like, I wonder what it's like to play with these abilities. And the mod scene is also insane. You can play as Goku and Vegeta and like the kid from Boku Academia. And, like, it's really, really good. I would recommend it. It's usually pretty cheap. And I'm curious about trying that remaster of the original Risk of Rain. I think it's called like Risk of Rain Returns or something. I'll play it with you, Anton.
The first game is called Risk or Rain Returns.
Risk of Rain. Yeah.
Yeah, but Returns.
Rain Remouse.
I'm gonna
It's
say
just
that's like
Rain.
Yeah, Risk of
ludicrous.
Rain Return.
Ludacris' first album was called Back for the First Time. And I was like, well, fuck, you ain't never here.
Was that before he was a world famous hacker, like best in the world?
Oh my god.
Uh,
All right, Kieran, number 3.
My number 3 is Magica.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't remember what kind of game it is. But it's I mean I think it's kind of like a God's Eye View game where you play these silly wizards who are on an
It's
adventure.
kind
to,
of
like, save the
Helldivers, but
world.
wizards.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it actually. And you have like all of like the elements or whatever, like wind, earth, and whatever, and arcane and life, and you can mix them to make different spells, which often happens that you cause terrible accidents that kill your friends. And it's great. And there's a lot of good humor in the game too. It's really funny.
All right, Devin.
Okay. I'm gonna. The thing is, I don't know if you can even play this game online. I played this as couch co-op, but the Dark Pictures anthology games that are just like a movie that you make decisions in and try to do
Oh
like
yeah,
quick time
those
event.
games.
from the Until Dawn people.
Yeah, it's fun. There's like the one I just played, I can't
Supermassive,
remember
I
what it-
think.
There's one that takes place in the Iraq War where you go underneath like an
fucking
ancient
vampires.
Yeah, an ancient temple. You fight vampires. You discover well, I'm not gonna spoil it. It's really, really good time, and it's really funny when you get like, because like I'll with my partner, we'll decide like who's controlling which characters and pass the controller around, and it's really funny when you accidentally like get someone's character killed, and you wonder like how you affected the story. And like they're not. I'm not gonna say they're great games, but they're a great time when you're hanging out with someone. That's it. I've
Right.
also considered the Quarry by the other company that makes those same games. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on
That
that.
was
Whether I should.
Stadia exclusive, or Stadia went down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They ported that bad boy over to the PlayStation and Xbox.
All right, Beezy, number 3 for you.
The original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Not only was campaign just a lot of fun, but then to have Spec Ops also in there, and I just have memories of Devin and I laying down in the favela and just knifing juggernauts to death.
Yeah, well, I was knocked down and they couldn't get in because my body was blocking the doorway.
Yeah, but the campaign for the original Modern Warfare 2 was awesome. And then all that extra stuff, and even multiplayer.
Multiplayer was so good.
Yeah,
Most of my good memories are with the first Modern Warfare, like the deep penetration perk, just like laying into the walls that I know that there's a big firefight going on and there's no team damage, so I just like rack up insane amounts of kills and martyrdom. Good times.
yeah. The noob tube and yeah.
Yeah.
The original Modern Warfare 2 was amazing. It's just a goddamn shame that there are going to be kids that grow up and their Modern Warfare 2s 2021s.
Yeah. Damn shame. Games should not be more than 100 gigabytes. Like I think you need to give another 5 years for that.
Oh. Well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is 149.
Oh god. Isn't Call of Duty the newest one like 200?
Oh yeah,
It's
it's like
ridiculous.
230.
Every Call of Duty nowadays gets up to like 200.
Yeah.
How do you just not care enough to optimize a game and make it work?
That's honestly their trick though, is because they want people to keep it on their hard drives because of the fear of deleting it.
Yeah, and then you can't install any other games, so you're just gonna play Call of Duty.
Like we have amazing friends, some named Wonton, and it's like if this poor guy had to download the goddamn game.
I deleted it already. I'm good. Come on.
Yeah.
That was on
played
like
them for a couple days.
that was on what 30 megabyte internet too, so that took you a solid week.
It took me a solid week to fucking download. Yeah.
Ready to
Jesus.
use.
I thought Wonton was in America, not like Panama. What's going on, Wonton?
It's just in my room. I have third world internet.
Okay.
Well, the number 3 pick for me for online co-op will actually go to Elden Ring. Might be a little difficult for your partner, but hey.
Yeah,
You know.
I really want to try. The problem is you guys are all console kids, and I'd love to try the Elden Ring mod that lets you play the whole game co-op.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good game. I wouldn't have beat it without co-op, honestly. Some people really saved my ass. Some of those harder bosses. And if people didn't save me, Mimic Tear saved me.
Yep, the best partner.
Yeah, myself.
All right, Wonton, number 3 for you.
Don't starve together.
All right. Why is that your number 3?
That's my number 3. Yep.
Yep.
Don't starve together. It is a
But why?
good. What do you mean? But why?
Isn't that just a ripoff of Pal World?
Don't.
Oof.
The totally original game, Pal World.
Oh boy.
Yeah, definitely is. It's nothing like the game it's getting accused of stealing from.
Man.
I tried to get into Don't Starve, but it was a little bit anxiety inducing for me. Survival games I never do well in. But I think it would be fun co-op.
It is.
And on to number 2 then, to Kieran.
My number 2 pick's actually Minecraft.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it needs too much of an explanation. I mean, it was already brought up, but yeah, I mean, just going with friends, building whatever the hell you want, potentially dying, always good.
Putting your beds next to each other. Ha ha ha. JK. Unless.
Just like a 1950s sitcom married couple.
Alright.
My pick. Are we on 2 or 3? I
2.
don't even know anymore. 2.
Yes, 2.
All right, my number 2 pick is Splinter Cell, and I don't honestly remember which one it is.
Double Agent.
The one with the good co-op.
That was Conviction and...
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of Conviction. It was really fun. Stealth games are so fun when you're co-op because you have to cooperate, but not to the extent of like a Portal 2 or a Divinity. Like you can still kind of do your own thing. You could, I mean, another good thing that I like is that you got to be the cooler looking character when you were player 2. Like Halo, you had to be the Arbiter, and that sucks. Nobody wants to be the Arbiter.
I wanted to be the Arbiter.
The 3rd and 4th player elites in Halo 3 were really cool, but the Arbiter looks kind of lame. He looks like a weird slug man with weird brass armor. Not my deal. But Splinter Cell, you got to be a cool Russian dude with like a really cool like red glowing mask, and I mean, I just want to give it. The co-op was really fun, amazing, but I want to also give a shout out to the multiplayer, the asymmetric multiplayer with like a spies versus mercs thing going on, and I don't understand how games haven't tried to do that since then. It's such a good mechanic.
Yep. All right, Beezy, number 2 for you.
I'm turning Kazuya into Drake as we speak in my Tekken customization right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. My second best co-op game. You know what? I'm just gonna. You did not establish rules, so I'm just gonna break them. I'm honestly gonna say Call of Duty Black Ops 4, just because of Blackout.
Yeah, that's kind of co-op.
Yeah.
What
I
is
mean, that's
Blackout?
literally all.
It's the Battle
Blackout
Royale.
was the first Battle Royale that they did.
We're dropping
I like
construction.
the
We're only
DMZ
dropping
mode. We had
construction.
fun on DMZ.
Yeah.
We're literally only dropping construction. How dare you?
Yeah. I was honestly, man, like some of the most fun PS4 times for that were definitely in that game. I just think that Battle Royale had so much heart and soul and so much character with all the wacky gadgets and all the bullshit that you could do. And the thing about the map too was, while like half of it was like pretty bland and boring, but like specific named locations were other parts of classic Call of Duty maps. So it immediately had 90 times more the character than you see in the current battle royale stuff. And yeah, I mean, we only really played it for that. The multiplayer was okay, and the zombies. I mean, it was zombies, but Blackout was good enough that I just kind of wish it was its own thing and still going.
It is. It's just Warzone now, Beezy.
Ugh, dude, don't.
And I remember a lot of the stuff when we were playing DMZ, Devin. A lot of the stuff that
Yeah.
you're saying, like, oh, I wish this had this. It's like, yeah, that was in Blackout.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the number 2 pick for me is going to Left 4 Dead 2. A little harder to get now because you can't really buy it on Xbox now, and it never came to PlayStation.
The mods
But
made it what it is
Steam still
anyway. Like I remember I played a game where I was fighting like Teletubbies, and the big zombie guy was Shrek,
Yep.
and it was just great times.
Yeah, it replaced the tank theme with All Star also for that.
Yeah.
That's
I am
hilarious.
looking at on the Xbox here, and it does say I can download Left 4 Dead. Maybe it's because it's in my library.
Yeah, but I own the disc of the game too, and it doesn't even allow me to download the game. So,
Install it.
but
That's
it's
insane.
better on PC anyway because the mods.
Yeah.
All right, Wonton, number 2 for you.
It takes two. That'll be my number 2.
Good game.
Very good.
Good game. Good talk. Kieran, on to you.
My number 1 pick, and this is purely based on bias because I love pirates, is Sea of Thieves.
Nice.
You took my number 1.
I've sunk probably way too much time into that game. I just love sailing around. Yeah,
Singing sea shanties? Hell yeah. We
yeah,
love
it's
that.
great.
Hell yeah, we love that.
I have so little time booked in Sea of Thieves because I just don't have anybody to play with. But it was like one of my all-time favorite gaming moments. Was just like we pulled up to an island. It was me and 2 friends and 1 random on this big boat, and we were jumping off the boat to like get treasure from the island, and we're bringing it back to the boat. And then we start noticing like our ship treasure is being stolen from our boat. Like every time we leave to get more treasure, somebody else was climbing onto our boat and stealing our treasure. And we're like, what is going on here? We found a guy swimming away from our boat, and we shot him and then booked it full sails ahead around the island to the other side where their boat was camped. And what followed was like a 2-hour long chase where we were like role playing as pirates, like trash talking them in the text chat, in like pirate lingo, and we ended up beating them, but our ship was like dead in the water when we beat them, and ended up getting attacked by a sea monster, I think, and me and the 1 other surviving member of the crew just swam to like a little spit of rock that was sticking up and waited for the other guy to spawn and find us. So we were trying to tell him which grid coordinates we were at. Yeah, an amazing experience, and it deserves its place for that alone.
So that's why you gave it number 1 as well.
A similar experience, yeah. I
Yeah.
do remember a time where I was being chased, and there was this crew that was bigger than ours, and we're like, we don't want to tangle with that, and so we were sailing away from them, but we just couldn't lose them no matter what we tried. So I jumped off the ship and swam over to theirs, climbed up, and hit their anchor, and that managed to slow them down. But they were still kind of keeping pace with us, and then we just got lucky, and they got attacked by the Kraken, and we managed to lose them after that. There's a lot of cool moments like that make the game really great.
Yeah. Another thing is the only DLC like the microtransactions are what's the word, cosmetic, so they don't give you an advantage, and so like you can spend money if you want to in that game, but it's not gonna like make you more powerful. So I think that's always good for a good community.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like it too. You can like start whenever, and you'll be just as set as the people who've been playing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So yeah, I was gonna call that my number one, but I'm gonna switch it to Super Mario Wonder. I've been playing that recently, and it's so much fun. There's so many levels. It's on the Nintendo Switch, surprisingly, and it's chaos. Like you're messing with each other. There's so many cool new powers. Like you can turn into like the drill hat. You can like drill into the ground and then like shoot up into the ceiling. And in most levels there's like a special star you can get that like makes you trip balls and completely changes the dynamics of the level. Like you can turn into a Goomba or like a weird like tree thing, or all the floors will turn into like escalators or something like that, and just like lead me around the level. It does a good job of just bringing you what you want from a Mario game, which is like these like really fun, inventive takes on a platforming genre. And it's maybe a little too easy, not as too easy as the Kirby game on Switch, which is also really fun, but like impossible to die in. And yeah, it's just a good time with people of all skill levels, and it'll make you laugh out loud just at mechanics, which is rare.
Well, anyway, I do have to go because I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of wondering when that was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, good talking to you all. Yeah, I will. I guess.
Take care, man.
Yeah. Have a good night, and I will. I guess probably see you briefly tomorrow, Devin.
Yep. All right, Beezy, your number one pick
You already know what it is. Resident Evil 5. The
again.
greatest game of all time. Yeah.
I
Because,
didn't
hey,
realize
you
this
have played
group is so big.
Yeah, because, when you're not sitting on the same couch as, the one in your background there, I've got the ability to play over PlayStation Network with my friend Wonton here. And guess what? The game is awesome.
We should play that again sometime.
Fucking Wesker, volcanoes, punching boulders,
Wesker's
boulders
so cool.
also. He's
We
great
should
in that game.
absolutely play that yet again.
I mean, I'm such a stan for the merchant from Resident Evil 4 that I don't think
are you
I could
buying?
ever
What are you selling?
rank
Oh, dude,
5 over
they've
4.
ruined him in remake.
Really?
That is
No.
true. He sounds pretty terrible.
He does not sound the same.
What are you buying?
Yeah. No, he sounds more like a British guy.
Flame. I mean,
As-
he sounded like a British guy, but like a British guy that hadn't left a bar since like 1972.
All right. Well, for me, for online co-op, number one pick, I'll give that to Remnant 2.
Ooh, yeah, that was. I had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but like it didn't get me enough to play it by myself. I would only play it with you, but I had a lot of fun playing with you.
Yeah, one of these days we should actually go back and play some more of that.
Yeah, we'll see when like some new content or something comes up for it.
Yeah, the next DLC. But yeah,
I think it sold pretty well. It should.
it was a lot of fun. A lot more accessible than Elden Ring for more casual people to pick up to, I think.
Just get good.
Yeah, it was good. Like I wasn't sweaty about it. Like I said, I only played with Silent Devin. I wasn't playing like half as much as he was, and still like I could hold my own with people that were playing more. And I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing. If you want to be super powerful, you invest a lot more time. But
Like that healing build I have.
Yeah, well, basically he was keeping me alive with his like medic abilities, so maybe that's it. He's just very selfless.
All right, Wonton, your number one pick.
My number one pick will be Minecraft. Because obviously Minecraft is amazing. And it's just something you can play hours on end with that special someone, and you can do soup shit.
Oh, you cute ass bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing beats digging straight down to bedrock and then filling that tower with TNT and lighting it and just seeing what happens once your graphics card recovers.
It's great.
Well, breaking news:
No.
new Taylor Swift album, The Torture Poets Department, is out April 19th. She didn't want the
In
420
April.
spot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For online, he went with
For the number 5 pick, it's the sequel though to a pretty popular series from Valve. It's Left 4 Dead 2, hard not to deny how much fun we had with those games, especially the carnival amusement park area in the second one. There's the clown zombies with the red noses, and you hit them, they'll squeak and stuff. And the roller coaster part, you have to go over.
And the fact that Left 4 Dead 2 has all the maps from the first game.
Yeah, it improved on the first one, but it still like was the same game pretty much.
Just improved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4 went to
Rainbow Six Vegas, mainly for the co-op terrorist hunts, but also you could do co-op campaign. I remember us doing that quite a bit too. More so terrorist hunt though.
Did you say the first one or the second one? My bad.
The first one.
Okay.
I think we played that one a bit more.
Yeah, we played a lot of LVU campus.
Yeah, and even just being able to like go through a casino with slot machines and you're shooting terrorists in Vegas and like climbing in through the windows and stuff from the roof.
Yeah, and then that game had a lot of good customization. Quite a bit of replay value.
Putting like rifle scopes on shotguns and stuff, and then just blind firing while you're behind a wall.
Yeah.
Also, the riot shield with like a Desert Eagle, that helped quite a bit too.
Yeah, I remember using that with the Raging Bull.
Yeah. I think if you were crouching, like, they couldn't hit you really from the front.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, they could still hit like your ankles or something like that, but
yeah.
I think that even with being able to use a gun with the shield is still more balanced than Call of Duty's riot shield.
Yeah, Call of Duty kind of makes me not like that thing.
Yeah. Was that it for 4?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
That's a really good pull. That's a foundational game for me.
Yeah.
Co-op.
Yeah, LVU Campus, the game.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
campaign
have.
was really good too.
Yeah.
I have Vegas on my in my Xbox library.
It's really good. I remember doing mushrooms in a trailer park and feeling really bad the next day and playing Vegas all day, and it was just really good. It was like chicken soup for the soul.
Nice.
Number 3, he went with
Number 3 is actually an older game released in 2004, I believe. And it's probably one of the best sequels from the Xbox and an Xbox exclusive series. That's Halo 2. To me, probably my favorite Halo in the whole series overall. Not only for like the system links and the online, but the split screens. The co-op was fun too, because it was probably my favorite series, my favorite one in the series for that. Just the levels themselves in the campaign, and one person playing as Arbiter and one as Master Chief.
Wait, aren't you thinking Halo 2 with that, dude?
That is the one.
Or not Halo 2, Halo 3. Because Halo
No, in
2,
Halo-
it was split. Like, they had different missions.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That is true. Halo 2 introduced the missions with Arbiter. You got to play as him. And you got like the active camo, and instead of something else,
Instead of a flashlight.
flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like probably my favorite cutscenes, and like the story in the second one was really good. And I don't know. I think there's a reason that game got so highly rated on like IGN and everything, and like high 9s out of 10. But the first one and the third one I still like in different ways, but I would say 2 has a better campaign than 3. So
Yes.
I picked that one.
I'm actually glad to hear somebody else say that too, because I've pretty much always thought that.
Yeah, 3 has like a few missions that are pretty cool, but in Halo 2, like every level, except for maybe, I think it's Quarantine Zone, where you're doing the flood areas, like, and it's really dark. Those are probably my least favorite, but they're still like part of the game that you have to play them.
Well, it still is technically better than Library, and way better than that Halo 3 Flood mission.
Oh, yeah.
So that was just straight up a bad mission.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which is surprising for him.
I I respect it.
I thought it would be higher.
Copy pasted a list from the internet.
The Watch Mojo.
Number 2, he went with.
I'm gonna pick the original Gears of War for number 2. Is it not only had fun multiplayer, but the online co-op was really fun. Getting one person as Marcus and one as Dom, and sometimes you'd go separate paths, and then you'd end up together, however long it took together. Yeah, like even after the first playthrough, I remember doing it quite a few times with other people, and it's next to the second one. It was probably my favorite campaign of the series, and yeah, for co-op.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're actually giving that to the first one, but still a good pick.
Yeah, maybe it was a bit biased, like, but that's probably the one I played the most. Like, I think the first 3 Gears of Wars, and after that, I didn't play too much of them.
Yeah, I only played a little bit of 4 and then gave up.
I played 4 a bit, like for hard, I think.
Yeah.
And for 5, I did all of Act 2 in like 4-player co-op, I think.
That game actually had 4-player?
I know it was 3 at least.
I know, yeah, 3 had it, but I thought they went back to 2-player after that.
I'm not sure, like,
Also,
I remember it being a decently big group, so maybe it was like 3.
Judgment also had 4-player, I think.
Oh, right.
But nobody wants to talk about that game.
I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Was that the original 5? Or?
No, that was the Baird spinoff.
Yeah, I always leaned more towards like Marcus or Coltrane. Even Dom was a good guy, but like no one really wanted to pick Carmine or. I mean, some people liked Baird, I guess, but I didn't really.
Yeah, wasn't really the best character.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to give respect to the original, even if the sequel improves in every way. You have to give respect to the original, unless
For me
it's lost
personally,
on
like
it.
Gears of War 1 is like one of my favorite. Yeah. Gears of War 1 is like one of my favorite games ever. It's in my top 20 for sure.
I just think 2 is better because of the funny moments in the campaign and horde mode.
Yeah. 2, like yeah, 2. It's Gears of War is one of those series where the second one improved on the first in every way. But I mean, the first is still iconic just because it's the first.
Yeah. And for number 1, he also went with, all right, the number 1 pick for the Willy.
The number 1 might be surprising, but it's actually a game you picked up a few months back and have been playing it quite a bit, even still. It's was on Game Pass actually recently. That's Remnant 2.
Yep, I figured.
It's basically, if you've ever played Souls-likes, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, imagine that with mainly guns, but also melee weapons. And you'd have the Remnant from the Ashes, the original. But this one, it's one of the most fun games from last year for multiplayer.
Yeah.
And with all the classes you can pick and different like combinations of weapons.
The fact that you can have a subclass.
Yeah, like, and there's hidden classes like you have to find when you're going through your first time. Quest related ones, like the old man giving you that gunslinger one, I think it is.
Nice.
Just surprising because he never beat the game.
Has he finished
Yeah.
it?
No, he hasn't beaten the game yet.
He's like, this is the best game I've ever played. Just never finished.
All right, well, I think that wraps that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Maybe subscribe if you want to. By the way, this was filmed before Helldivers 2 came out because I probably would have added that into the list. Also, be sure to leave in the comments what your top 5 online co-op games are. But anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and I will see you in the next video, whenever I get a chance to make it.